Yes, thank you so much. Indeed, we had a very good European Council. We do now have a very good and solid roadmap to keep on working on the topic of energy prices. The leaders have given the strategic guidance we wanted on the proposal that we have put on the table on Tuesday, and that will be discussed next week, Tuesday, by the energy ministers. Let me focus on a few topics that we have discussed intensively. The first one is the topic of the joint purchasing of gas. Here, leaders supported very much the idea to allow companies for the joint purchase to build consortia and to work together and to join forces so to increase our common market power for the demand of gas. There's one binding element in it, that is when we, at the beginning, aggregate the demand, 15% are binding to be aggregated as demand on the market together as a joint aggregated demand. The second topic was the focus on how to limit episodes of excessive gas prices. And this is the discussion around the benchmark for gas prices, the so-called TTF. We know that the TTF reflects mainly pipeline gas, but as we see that the market is shifting and more LNG gas is coming to the market, the TTF does not reflect the true market situation anymore. Therefore, we will develop a complementary new index to reflect better the LNG price situation. And for the meantime, we are going to establish a market correction mechanism exactly to limit episodes of excessive gas prices and to make sure that there is a clear order in the build of the market. So here we will work with the energy ministers to submit a legal proposal to operationalize this market correction mechanism. Of course, leaders also discussed a second topic, which is a potential mechanism to limit the influence of high gas prices on the cost of electricity. We had a frank discussion, which further clarified, on one hand, the opportunities, and on the other hand, highlighted the challenges. We will analyze the financial impact of those countries with a lot of gas in their electricity production. What does it mean if we cap the gas to reduce the influence of gas on the electricity price? And the second topic, which has to be analyzed, is the flow of subsidized electricity to non-EU neighbors. Here, too, we will work with the member states and with the council formation to find a well-balanced and common approach on these issues. The Commission will also come back to the issue of state aid. Next week, the College will adopt a proposal on the prolongation and the adaptation of the temporary crisis framework. This will give member states an improved ability to support their companies in the face of the current crisis while preserving a level playing field, so common rules for everybody. For example, thanks to the extension of time limits for state support or new options to support companies reducing their electricity demand, this new revised state aid crisis framework will be then decided on next week in the College. Moving forward to the topic of funding. I just mentioned the state aid opportunities, but there's also a strong look at the opportunity, at the possibilities to support vulnerable households and vulnerable businesses. We're aiming to make available up to around 40 billion euros of funds that are still available from the previous MFF. So with that, member states will be able to help the most affected by the energy crisis, be it the vulnerable households or SMEs. But indeed, more is needed to support small and medium companies, but also larger industry to deal with the high energy prices. And here the topic of investment is very important. The investment can be financed through the European level. That is the vehicle Repower EU, that is right now in the process of being decided in Parliament. It has already been decided in Council. So we're moving forward to the trilogue, hoping that this instrument then will be finalized as soon as possible. And here is the possibility for all member states to have common European funding to invest in their companies, in their SMEs, to help them to make the transition away from fossil fuels into, for example, renewables, cheaper sources of energy, and thus prepare for the future. We have had a very good council on all these topics, and I think I will stop here and I'll be happy to take questions.